So this is one of those videos that I'm not really happy to film, but unfortunately I have to film it. It is a decluttering video of my palettes. I have to get rid of some of them, so let's start decluttering. The first palette you see is going to be the Lorac palette, you guys. A good palette. I really didn't use it much. It's okay with the shimmers. You really need an eyeshadow base for the ones that are like this shade and that shade. But the other ones, they're pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of them because I have colors that are kind of similar to this particular palette. Like, for instance, that blue is really, really pretty. And I can just swatch it like that. See the pigmentation? And I kind of have a color like that in my Juvia's Place palette. So I really don't need it. And if you followed my channel, you know that I really love blues like that. I love purples and greens. And to be honest with you, this color right here, is like a really pretty shade as well. So we're definitely getting rid of some things. So let's get it started. And this is going to be the first to go. And that is the Lorac Dream palette. That's got to go. We have the Kathleen Lights palette. I really like this palette. Oh gosh, eyeshadow is getting everywhere. You see what I'm saying, guys? 1 second. Okay, so I really like the Kathleen Lights palette, you guys. The transition colors are pretty good. The green is pretty. But you know what? I have these colors in other palettes. So I can go ahead and let this go. It did what it was supposed to do for the time being. I've done reviews on this palette. Put it in the clutter pile. Okay, so we have the Too Faced. This one is the Bonbons palette, you guys. I love this palette. It was in the makeup basket of the week. Definitely keeping this palette, you guys. I love Too Faced's matte colors, you guys, and their shadows. So definitely keeping that. Here's another one by Too Faced. This is the what is this called? Oh, Totally Cute palette. It's the one that has all the little stickers and everything. You know what? I think I can honestly pass on this palette. There's nothing in here that just stands out that says, you know what, just keep it. No, we can go ahead and let this particular palette go. And again, this is what the palette looks like. Has a lot of stickers that you can put on here that comes with the palette. It's really, really girly. The next palette is the Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. Y'all, if y'all see eyeshadow and makeup on these palettes, it is what it is. If you're using your products, eventually you're going to get some type of makeup on them. They're not going to stay 100% clean. But here's my Too Faced Sweet Peach palette, you guys. I like this palette. I have used this palette a lot. As you can see, it doesn't look like I put a dent in it, but if you turn it this way, you can kind of see where I've used some of them. It's hard to hit pan on it if you have multiple palettes, but this is a great palette, you guys. It offers a lot of warm shadows, very pretty. I'm going to keep all the Too Faced palettes that I can keep, and for the ones that are just pretty much, you know, duplicate, try to get rid of them. But I believe this is the last Too Faced palette that I have, and like I said, I'm gonna keep it. I love my bar palettes. Okay, we have Juvia's Place palette, and y'all know I have a special place in my heart for Juvia's Place. They have a lot of shadows from all different shades, warm and cool, and I even plan to get that tri palette with the greens, you guys, to add to collection. I know that this is a declutter video, but I'm just keeping it 100. I like this palette, so you know what? This palette here, this particular shadow palette, it's not bad. Even though it does what it's supposed to do. It's a nice variety of shades. I got a blue here, or teal, whatever you want to call it. I got a gold here, which is really pretty, which is common in a lot of warm palettes that you'll see. And some good transition colors here. It's okay. You know, I saw this and it really caught my eye. You know, because the other palette, the other crayon looking palette, it was okay. But I saw this one, I'm like, that's more like for me. So I like the names of the palette. It's really nice. It comes with a mirror and everything. Very nice palette. I'm going to keep it. It's a black owner. And to be honest with you, I plan on looking at her site to see what else she has. Okay. Now, just to keep it 100, I know stuff happens. You're a new business and you're taking on. But when I actually bought this palette and got it home, I saw a fingerprint in the palette. So, but that's okay. I didn't make a big fuss about it or try to return it. I just, got my alcohol out and went around. I think it was in probably this matte shadow here. And you know what matte shadows is easily pick up. It looked like it could have been a pinky, but your girl sprayed that alcohol, sanitized it, and wiped that layer off. So it is what it is. We're moving on to the next item. And yes, if I didn't say it, we're keeping it. Okay, we have the ColourPop My Little Pony. All these little kitty palettes, you guys. Look at these shades, you guys. I don't think I've ever put this in a makeup basket. Or if I did, it was just once. I've used it before, but I like these shades. This palette is, may not be the best palette to create a look for some, but I'm sure there's a lot of people that can definitely create a palette eye look based upon this. Very nice shades. Definitely my style. I love my cool tone, and then it's a mix of warm in here. So we're keeping it. So I just wiped my finger through an eyeshadow. And it just happened to be the black one, y'all. Don't you hate when that happens? This black shadow here, I accidentally scratched up against it. So I'm going to have to wipe my hands. But this is the I Think I Love You palette. Oh, perfect cool tone palette for me. Because I love it. I love a cool tone neutral palette. So this is what it is. And your girl's keeping it. Okay. All right. Now this palette here, which they should have made with like a lining to go over it because it is filthy. But since then, ColourPop got it. As you can see, the other palettes, they have like some type of lining that's over the palette, I think. Because this is just pretty much paper. And paper is going to stain. But this is the palette here. And this is the, what is this called? Qgyrl? Yes, please. Yes, please palette. So it gets stained, it gets dirty. If you want it, this is what you got to look for. You just got to keep it clean every time you use it. But unfortunately, I'm always on the go. So, hey. But this is it. Now, this palette here, offers a lot of colors. There's a lot of golds, warm tones, red undertone shadows. Now, I want to keep it, and I think I'm going to keep it, but I often come back to this because I have this. I have this too. So, this is the Saharan palette. So, if you wanted to know the difference between the two, there you go. Uh-oh. As you can see, I probably stuck my finger in that too. Who knows? But anyway, see what I'm saying here? That makes me want to just go with one palette. But then you look and see those yellow shades, which is not in a lot of my shadow palettes that I have. So I'm going to keep both of them. We're just going to go ahead and declutter. Keep them both. So keep them both. All right. So I'm pretty sure you see the keep pile is here. And the decluttered pile is here. The throwaway pile. So, let's get into it. We have the Retro Love palette here, you guys. And this palette is the one from Hush.com. A lot of these shadows are really good, actually. I will say. I've never did a review on it. But it's not a bad shadow palette. I think I bought it at the end of 2017 or the beginning of 2018. Not a bad palette. That green is pretty. I did do some looks in the makeup basket with those dark green colors and made it like a smoky eye look. They're not bad. So I don't think I have any palettes that offer this shade range. So you know what? I'm going to keep it because it's kind of like a cool tone palette with a mixture of teals, greens, and golds. Let's keep it. This was Juvia's Place first eyeshadow palette. And it's a beautiful palette. I never reach for this palette. I don't know why I don't reach for this palette, but I never do. I destroyed this eyeshadow here. I don't know if I dropped it or what, but after I dropped it, I'm like, I need another one. Because, you know, who wants to look at it? I tried to press it together. And I don't like the way that looks. The shadows are beautiful. But I think I can go ahead and let this palette go. As much as I hate to. But I'm not going to just keep a palette for this shade here. And I don't even think I have... if I depot it, I don't think I have anything to keep it in. I can check and see. I might depot a couple of these shadows. Well, you're going to hear some background noise. So, if I keep this palette, I might depot this shade, maybe that shade, and that shade. So, let's just keep this in the maybe pile over there, because I may depot, I may not. And so, this is the Smoke palette by Urban Decay. Honey, I cracked that mirror. But the best part is I got the lining still on it, so I'm not gonna get any glass or anything. You guys see? Yeah. Look at these shades. Beautiful shades. The perfect palette for like smoky looks. The camera is not doing it any justice. Let's see if I can dim this down. That way you guys can see. Yeah. I think I'm gonna keep this because yeah, I'm not giving this up. Now this is the Saharan Blush Palette 1, Volume 1, excuse me. Very pretty palette, nice design. These shades, to be honest with you guys, they are too dark for me to use as blush. I can't use it as blush really, and the highlighters are too dark for me to use as blush. I can use these as shadows. I can mix these two together and create a nice blush. But they are too dark for my skin tone. And let me just try to get the white. I mean, there's too much light. So let me see if I can get true to color for you guys. So they're dark shades. So, I mean, they're really pretty. If you have a deeper skin tone, girl, get this palette. And to be honest with you, they really need a palette in between those two palettes. Because the other one can be too light for me. And this one, like I said, is a little bit too dark for me. But I'm keeping it because I like it for eyeshadow. Now this palette is beautiful, guys. Look at the details of this palette. It's so beautiful. Look at the art. My God, the art. Excuse me. Yes, it's cute. You already know they got that green. Look at that row right there. Look at that row right there. Look at the row. We're definitely keeping this. And we're definitely going to play around with color this year. Yes, we are. Yes, keeping it. And this is beautiful, too. I mean, they just have beautiful palettes. They do. They don't have mirrors, but that's fine. It would be nice, but, girl, if it's going to raise the price, that's okay. And look at these shades, girl. I'm always sticking my finger in the eyeshadow. Why? I knew that today. But it always happens, either my thumb or... Girl, look at this shadow palette, y'all. The camera does no justice. These palettes come with iridescent shades like glitter shade. If you got a Juvia's Place palette, at least more than one, just not that one over there. If you got one, you know what I'm talking about. These shades are beautiful. Those are too. You can use these as highlighters, blushes, and eyeshadows. Just so you know. I mean, there's a lot of people using this shade for highlighters. You've seen Wet n Wild, you've seen Rihanna Fenty have that shade, y'all. As a matter of fact, that Fenty holiday palette thing, highlighter thing, kind of looks like this if you take away that. Right? Okay. Anyway, we're keeping her. Keeping her. Another Juvia's Place palette, guys. This is the Sahara Blush palette. Like I said, this is the volume 2. And like I said, I've used this as a transition color. Highlighters, these beautiful I could kind of get away with this blush here, but you know, it's it's really light. So this could be a great eyeshadow palette for somebody too. But like I said, they need something in between volumes 1 and 2. Hell, the dark one should have been called 3. It should have had something else for 2 that's for people in the middle, because this, like I said, all these shades, like these, I could barely get away with these 2, you know. But, y'all, it is what it is. So I'm definitely keeping this palette here. And then we have, and this palette is so beautiful too. It's so pretty. Look at the artwork. Y'all, excuse, y'all, it is what it is. I'm a mom. It's dirty. Okay, so, oh boy, yeah, it's dirty, definitely. But anyway, it is what it is, guys. Okay, we keep it 100 on this channel. This palette is so pretty. As you can see, this is like one of my favorite, and it is just, oh, the glitter in this shadow, it's not going to even pick up. It's not. But it's so pretty, guys. This is a beautiful palette. If you don't have it, you might want to add it to your collection. And then it has that beautiful green there that I love. This is iridescent, almost like a pink. You can wear it as a blush. I'm just saying. And this could be used as a blush too, actually. And this one could be highlight, you know, raw bone highlight. Good color to deepen up your crease. You can use this as a crease color. You can use this as a lid color. Whatever you want to do. You could even use this one probably as a brow bone highlight. Probably. You can get away with that. I think I may have used it. I don't know. But it's a beautiful palette. Yes, we keeping her. Okay. I Love Your Face ColourPop. Now, of course, y'all know I broke that before I moved. This is a good palette. It is. It is. It's a very nice palette, guys. You know, little sheen there. You know. The hand swatches don't do any justice. This is like one of them but highlight palettes where you actually have to put it on your face. They don't swatch really good. I'm just keeping it 100. They don't. Look. It does not. Can you see that? So yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this palette because I'm going to keep the next item that I have, guys. And plus, a lot of these shades that you see here, I probably have dupes for in like single form. So I have this backup palette, and I really like the shades that are in here. And so, like I said, I think I'm going to go with keeping this Jaclyn Hill backup palette. It comes with a mirror, and of course it's one of those palettes where you can get a lot of fingerprints on it. It really doesn't bother me. Some it may. I don't think they have this palette any longer. In fact, they probably brought this back probably 2 or 3 times, and I think I got it on the 2nd time. These highlighters are really pretty, guys, and this one shows up more like a rose gold. I can't do anything with this one here, but I like that shade here as a blush. So I'm definitely keeping this palette. So the next palette that I have here is the Fibrosa palette, guys. I really like this palette. It's very nice. It has like, I guess you could say warm and a mixture of cool tone shadows, which I really like. So as you can see, I have used this palette. I don't have to sit it like that. That way y'all can see, because sometimes stuff be looking not used, but it's been used, you guys. So yeah. Anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and keep this palette because I like it. It has a lot of qualities that I like. So, and it's ColourPop. Next palette I'm going to show you guys. This is what I'm talking about. When they first released their palettes, this ColourPop eyeshadow palette. You know, it doesn't have a lining over it. See, like with the Fibrosa palette, I think it has some type of finish over it. As you can see, it's not stained. It doesn't have anything on it, really. But this particular here, as you can see, I think it may have gotten wet. But the point is, it doesn't have a lining over it. It's like white paper. So, I mean, you can stain this up real bad. So, here's the palette. The shades are beautiful, you guys. I love this palette. I've used it, but I haven't used it a lot. You can see some of the shades where I kind of put a dent in it. Like this one here. This shade here up here. But yeah, it's a really nice palette. I just need to use it more. But see, like I said, the packaging, the paper packaging, it gets stained up really bad. So I'm going to go through all my palettes and try to clean them up. But with this particular palette, I mean, it's just going to get stained right back up. It's just what it is, guys. So this is just a Coastal Scents palette, and I'm one of the palettes that you just fill up with shadows, like individual shadows, old school. I just have a couple of shadows in here. The first one is Coastal Scents, the second one is ColourPop, and I actually have another ColourPop shadow to put in there, but it's the same one as the one that they gave away for like maybe one of their anniversaries. Excuse the background noise. There's maintenance, you know, doing the lawn, and then there's also Junior and his Dougie dog toy. I don't know if you ever heard of Dougie dog, but yeah. So I'm gonna keep this because if I ever get more individual eyeshadows, I think it'd be good to store them in here. Although I don't like the fact that it says Coastal Scents on here. So hey. And then we have more Morphe. You gotta love Morphe. All the big gurus love Morphe. You know what? I like Morphe too. I don't know if the palettes that people say are not performing well, Jaclyn Hill collection, you know, I never bought them, so I can't say if they, you know, poor quality or the quality was similar to, you know, regular Morphe palettes. I don't know why it wouldn't be, but hey, I don't know. But, you know, with Jaclyn Hill's name, you have to produce in mass quantities. So it's possible that there could be a lot of duds. I'm just saying. But for me, I've never really had a problem with Morphe shadows. However, I only have purchased 3 Morphe palettes. This one here, it is the Ultimate Matte Collection. That's why I call it, even though it's a 35O matte palette. Perfect. All the matte you can ever need. I mean, it's sometimes when a girl doesn't want any shimmer on her lids, and I can do a whole matte eye look. And I like it. It looks really nice. And it has all the shades that you could ever want to blend. The only thing that doesn't have is a black shade, but I don't know if you guys can see. Let me see if I can balance this light. Those bottom shades right here can really deepen up your eye look. These two here, and even this chocolate one on the end. So see, so you guys can kind of see. But yes, perfect addition to your collection. If you're just not starting out in makeup, I would recommend that you get this palette, and then you can get whatever you want when it comes to other palettes as far as colors. But this is a staple palette. That's all I can say. So of course, you know I'm keeping that. Oh, so this is the OG 35O palette. Oh yeah, love this palette. As you can see, they both look beat up. But yeah, I love this palette. It's not bad. It's kind of big and bulky, you know, when it comes to traveling, but it's not a bad palette, guys, at all. For me, it works. It does what I need it to do when it comes to makeup. It's fine. I can do a lot of looks with this palette, and they just come out nice. So I don't know. I mean, people have different takes on how they feel about quality of eyeshadows. For me, I think the palettes that I have in this collection, you know, can perform better than a lot of the high-end brands. Like, for instance, I'm not the biggest fan of MAC shadows. I do really like their Volux Pearl formula. I will say that. And like some of their shimmer shadows, but for the most part, I'm not the biggest fan of MAC shadows. I'm fine with what I have, the Too Faced, the Juvia's, the ColourPop. They do what I need them to do, and they are not as expensive. So, will I purchase the high-end palette like the Natasha Denona palettes and all of those? I'm going to say no. It's no need for me to purchase any high-end shadows when I am not a professional at makeup. And every time I put makeup on my face, I'm experimenting and I don't know what I'm going to get. And I'm just hoping that the face is beat at the end of the beat. Okay? So, I don't know. I hope that makes sense to you guys, for you guys, that just because of the name, the quality is going to be better. I haven't seen it. I'm not gonna even lie to you guys. One holiday palette. I may have mentioned it on here. I may have just put it in my snap. But I bought the Anastasia palette. The, what do you call it? The Renaissance palette. No. Fail. I didn't like it. Plus, it irritated my eyes and turned them red for a couple of days. It just didn't agree with me, and plus it had a fingerprint in it, which I had to sanitize, but it's still, overall, it was a no-go. And I even returned one of the holiday Urban Decay palettes. Your girl don't return palettes. But those two, I had to return those two palettes. Just a little FYI, and I know this video is long, so if you made it to this point, thank you so much for your time. But I'm going to keep this 35O palette. But I'm getting rid of this contour palette. I tried, but this palette right here is so dry. There is no moisture whatsoever. Child, if you need a contour palette, okay, maybe the dark shades will work better. But the light shades, how you gonna get this dry stuff underneath your eye? And I got this from, I want to say, was it Home Goods, TJ Maxx, whatever the combination, that particular store is. They're all together. I got it in there. No, this was a fail. I tried to hang on to it as long as I could, but it's a definite epic fail. And plus, the shades are too dark for me. They're just too dark. I should have got the palette that was up, but I tried to work with maybe this shade as a highlight, but because this orange shade is, I think, maybe too dark for me. But guys, if you can find it at a major department store and test it out there and see what the quality is. The formula is creamy, but for me, formula is dry, girl. Dry. It's an epic fail, so it's gonna go in this trash pile. Last pile here, we have the Juvia's Place Magic. Yeah, Magic palette. I couldn't wait to get this palette because you guys know why I wanted it. So it has all these beautiful shades. Yes, look at the greens, look at the blues. I could really throw away that sleek palette with the blues, but I'm not going to do that. No. This palette here is gorgeous. It has nice blues. They're not exactly the same. But, y'all, look at how beautiful these shades are. Hold on. I know the lighting is not picking up. Okay, because I'm using daylight. Oh, gosh. Y'all. The palette is beautiful. That's all I can say. Get this palette in your collection. It has a lot of transition colors, but it's mostly shimmer because it's like, hold on. This palette might have 6 mattes in it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 6. Everything else is all shimmer. But yeah, that concludes this video, guys. This is the throwaway pile right there. And this is the keep pile on the left. So I gotta get those palettes all cleaned up. Of course, Juvia's Place. You're going over there. So I'm getting rid of those today. The next video is going to be about my ColourPop eyeshadows, you guys. So that's next. Keeping and throwing away. I should be throwing away more items, but I'm trying to be generous. Some of that stuff is new, so I'm gonna hang on to it. So, like I said, if you made it to this end of the video, thanks for watching. You're here. If you haven't subscribed, why not hit the subscribe button? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will talk to you guys later. Bye.